conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. So guess what? We're back now with our Bhakti Shastri curriculum. If you remember 1 month back, we actually were in the 17th chapter and we finished that off in one class. And now we're on the last chapter of the Bhagavad-gītā. So it's 18 chapter because there are 18 chapters of the Bhagavad-gītā. Just as there are 18 books in the curriculum of the Mahabharata. And the Mahabharata war, how long did it last? 18 days. And Bhagavad-gītā is part of Mahabharata. So this 18 number is quite significant. I don't remember now. It has some. It means something, but I forgot what it means. So in that way, that's why it's 18 chapters. And the 18th chapter is just going to be a summary of what has already been said. Prabhupada is saying that it's actually nothing new we're getting here in this chapter. We're refreshing what we already heard, and Krishna is going to draw a conclusion. Okay, so without further ado, we just dive in. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Very good. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Beautiful. So now we have summoned Krishna to come and help us. So let's just read the first verse. Arjuna vacha sanyasya mahabaho tattvamichami veditum tyagasya cha rishikesha pritakeshi nishudana. So if we couldn't understand anything of this whole chapter, if you just heard the Sanskrit, that would already be perfection. Because they said that you can just hear the shlokas of Gita, and that's enough for purifying our heart 100%. Because they're non-different from Krishna himself. It's not that Bhagavad-gītā just is the speaking of Krishna, but it is actually Krishna in person. So that's when we hear the sounds of the Gita, we are associating with Krishna in the flesh. Yeah. So Arjuna said, Almighty Armed One, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, Tyaga, another renounced order of life, Sannyas, O killer of the Keshi demon, master of the senses. So may I now ask Monsieur Christopher Prabhu to read from purport?
Purport. Actually, the Bhagavad-gītā is finished in 17 chapters. The 18th chapter is a supplementary summarization of the topics discussed before. In every chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, Lord Krishna stresses that devotional service under the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of life. This same point is summarized in the 18th chapter as the most confidential part of knowledge. In the first 6 chapters, stress was given to devotional service, yoginam api sarvesham. Of all yogis or transcendentalists, one who always thinks of me within himself is best. In the next 6 chapters, pure devotional service and its nature and activity were discussed. In the third 6 chapters, knowledge, the renunciation, the activities of material nature and transcendental nature, and devotional service were described. It was concluded that all acts should be performed in conjunction with the Supreme Lord, presented by the words Om Tat Sat, which indicate Vishnu, the Supreme Person. The third part of Bhagavad-gītā was shown that devotional service and nothing else is the ultimate purpose of life. This has been established by citing past acharyas and the Brahma Sutra, the Vedanta Sutra. Certain impersonalists consider themselves to have a monopoly on the knowledge of Vedanta Sutra, but actually the Vedanta Sutra is meant for understanding devotional service, for the Lord himself is the conqueror of the Vedanta Sutra, and he is the knower. That is described in the 15th chapter. In every scripture, every Veda, devotional service is the objective. That is explained in the Bhagavad-gītā. As in the 2nd chapter, a synopsis of the whole subject matter was described. In the 18th chapter, also the summary of all instruction is given. The purpose of life is indicated to be renunciation and attachment of the transcendental position above the 3 material modes of nature. Arjuna wants to clarify these two distinct subject matters of Bhagavad-gītā, namely renunciation, tyaga, and the renounced order of life, sannyas. Thus he is asking the meaning of these two words. Two words used in this verse to address the Supreme Lord, Rishikesha and Keshi Nishudana, are significant. Rishikesha is Krishna, the master of all senses, who can always help us attain mental serenity. Arjuna requests him to summarize everything in such a way that he can remain equipoised. Yet he has some doubts, and doubts are always compared to demons. He therefore addresses Krishna as Keshi Nishudana. Keshi was the most formidable demon who was killed by the Lord. And now Arjuna is expecting Krishna to kill the demon of doubt.
Yeah, very nice. So Krishna, he is killing the demon of doubt simply by speaking. The doubt is going away. It said that Krishna is reconciling everything just by his presence. What to speak of when he is speaking. It was a very nice read. So we'll not read that much purport now, because you kind of made a nice foundation for what we're going to speak about. So next verse is saying, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sanyasam Kavayo Vidu Sarva Karma Phala Tyagam Praustyagam Vichakshanaha. The Supreme Personality of God said, the giving up of activities that are based on material desires is what great learned men call the renounced order of life. Sannyas. In giving up the results of all activities is what the wise call renunciation, tyaga. And verse 3, Tyajam doshavadityeke karma praurmanishinaha yagyadana tapa karma na tyajam itichapare. Some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up as faulty, yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity and penance should never be abundant. 4. Nishchayam shrinume tatra tyaga bharata sattama tyaga hi purusha vyagraha trividha samprakirtitaha. O best of the Bharatas, now hear my judgment about renunciation. O tiger among men, renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds. Yagyadanna tapa karma natyajam karimevatat Yagyudanam tapascheva pavana nimanishinam. Acts of sacrifice, charity and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity and penance purify even the great souls. Itanya pitu karmani sangam tyaktva palani cha kartavyani me partha nishchitam matamuttamam. All these activities should be performed without attachment or any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Pritha. That is my final opinion. Niyatasya tu sanyasya karmano nupapadyate muatasya parityagas tamasa parikirtita. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Dukkamite vayat karma kaya klesha vayatya jet sakritva rajasam tyagam navyatyaga palam labhet. Anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. Karyamite eva yat karma niyatam kriyate arjuna sangam tyaktva palam chaiva satyaga satviko mataha. O Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done, and renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. Any comments?
And it's laying down, the basis of the different renunciation, how the one's renunciation is situated according to the modes.
Exactly. So you can have, good renunciation. You can have bad renunciation. For devotees, of course, they will have the good renunciation. It is to renounce, the result of the activity. That means to not claim that I have done this and I should have all the credit and stuff like that. That will fuel the ego quite a lot. Devotees try always to avoid actually ego fuel. They may do stuff, but they try to avoid being proud and claim proprietorship too much. Yeah. So they view I do it for Krishna, and Krishna is going to enjoy the result. It's not up to me, even what the result is going to be. But we do our best, and Krishna take care of the rest. And thus the result is not made by us. Nadvashtiya kushalam karma kushalena nusajyate tyagi sattva samavishto medhavi chinna samshayaha. The intelligent renouncer situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious work, has no doubts about work. Nahi deya britam shakyam tyaktum karmani asheshataha yastu karma palatyagi satyagi tyabidiyate. It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities, but he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. Yeah, so that's interesting. Nahi deha britas shakyam. So one who is in the body, tyaktum karmani asheshata, to give up all the karmas completely. Asheshata means without any remainder. Shesha means that there is something left. Yeah. So then tyaga or tyaktum means to have given up, to give up. It's impossible really. One is active in the body because the senses are screaming of passion. But one who is really renounced, he is still doing stuff, still running around the world, but he is not claiming to have the result. That's a great thing.
Impossible, because even the working senses and the information acquiring senses cannot understand anything if there is not good and bad and preferred and not preferred thing.
Yeah. So next verse, Anishtam ishtam mishram cha trividam karmana phalam bhavatyatyyaginam pretya natu sanyasinam kvarchit. For one who is not renounced, the threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, occur after death. But those who are in the renounced order of life have no such result to suffer or enjoy. So keep in mind that he said after death. They're also coming in this life, but here it was an emphasis on what's happening after death. And why is it mentioned like this? It means that the person is in the mode of passion, and to be in the mode of passion is one is very attached, actually, to enjoy the results. One is very eagerly looking at the charts, looking at the statistics. How many people liked my video or my post? Keeping track of the development, always trying to make it bigger. So in that way, of course, we're not living forever. So at one point, one will have a desire to have some result, and then we die before we can have the result, right? That means the desire is still unsatisfied and it's lingering there, wanting to be satisfied. So Krishna, it's happening by Paramatma actually. He's hanging a new body in the closet ready for us already now. Because we have some future plan. We're thinking, when I get pensioned, I'm going to be in an island and I'm going to just enjoy, get myself a cottage. Yeah.
I come to think because during life, you can look at the statistics, for example, of the video, right, of YouTube, saying that this video got a lot more likes and this got fewer likes, So then you can do analysis of how you are to make new videos. But I guess at the time of death, if you are thinking that have attachment I have many videos with 100,000 likes, that I will, because of this, I am in good position and I shall enjoy heavenly kingdom. And so this is, the fruit that is accrued after death.
Yeah, that's probably, yeah.
The devotee will not even be like, Krishna I did so much service to you, surely I go to the spiritual world, right? He will be like, whatever you desire, Krishna, is also my wish.
Yeah, that's well said. Actual devotee will not be attached at all. We simply so these fruits are explained here. It's anishtam, ishtam, mishram, cha. So you have anishtam. It's not desire. Ishtam means to desire, and ishtam means I desire that. And then mishram is mixed.
Mishra.
Yeah, mishra. Like so, we talk about mishra bhakti. It means our bhakti is mixed with desire for some knowledge or desire. Oh, Manudama. Welcome, Manudama. Namaste, sir. Nice to have you back. So, yeah. So, all this stuff, it's a pure devotee is not getting into that. It's definitely registered on the brain, but not attached to that. Yeah?
I think maybe the difficulty for the devotee after that would be something like the devotee has some, I guess, a desire to, maybe which is like connected with Krishna, of course. But then Krishna is not able to say no, even though he had already a plan for the devotee to do some different service also, but, he cannot even say anything to the devotee because of, he's completely bound by the devotee.
Yeah, that's the point. So say if you do some nice service here for Krishna, then Krishna is starting to arrange that you will have a nice residence in the spiritual world. He'll fix a house for you, everything is there ready for you, waiting. But then, the devotee will have some desire, I want to be, next life, trying to set up something here in the material world. Develop my preaching or whatever. And then Krishna is like, okay, we put it on hold, But remember, your house is standing there ready, You have your dress, spiritual life dress, it's not going to be the same dress as we have here. It's just hanging ready in the closet there. Yeah. So.
I don't know, maybe it's speculation from my end, like speculation exactly about that, because.
Yeah, you can do.
You say writing a very extensive literature about something Krishna, you can continue to work in the spiritual world. Why not? Yeah.
You see, there is no problem if you have their. Yeah. So hello, viral tuber. Nice to see you, and thank you, Manudama. Refreshing to see you also. So yeah. So let's read on, shall we? So then, did I read the whole translation to text 12?
Yes, I thought you did.
Yeah. So text 13. Panchaitani mahabaho karanani nibodame sankhya kritanti proktani siddhaye sarvakarmanam. O mighty armed Arjuna, according to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all action. Now learn of these from me. So this is too complicated. Now we just go on to next verse. Adishtanam tata karta karanam cha pritak vidam vividascha pritak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. Okay, let's see if we can follow this. The place of action. I'll count with my fingers, okay? There are 5 different things. The place of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the supersoul. These are the 5 factors of action. Is that understood? The place of action. Okay, we have our body. Who is the performer? That says it's a karta. So that's us. We are the karta. With a little help from the ahankara, the ego, then we think we are the performer. but on the other hand, you actually need that ahankara actually to do anything here. We cannot even sit here and discuss spiritual life if we don't have ahankara engaged. So in that way, it is really a case that you need that to do stuff. And then you have the various senses, of course. We are seeing, we are hearing, we are touching. I'm touching my keyboard right now. Without that, I wouldn't be able to set up this stream. And the many different kinds of endeavor. For example, I was endeavoring to put up this laptop and connect the camera to get Zoom to run. These are endeavors. And I had to endeavor to copy-paste, the Bhagavad-gītā text into my notebook. And you also have to endeavor, in so many ways in order to do something like this. And then ultimately the super soul, because he's the ultimate sanctioner. He says, in the Gita, that Bharta Bhukta Maheshwara, he says, Upadrashtanumanta cha. He says, I am the permitter. I am the good friend in heart also, Surida. Bharta Bhukta, I'm also, the protector and the enjoyer also. So he said, that super soul, whenever we are getting any sense input, super soul in our heart is getting that first. For example, say I'm eating a pizza. That taste of the pizza is going first to the super soul. And then we are tasting like a fraction of a second later. Isn't that amazing? So if you're really Krishna conscious, you can actually offer the food in your heart to the super soul. Because he will get to eat it first before you. So some devotees, they do that. Actually, they say the mantra, from Bhagavad-gītā. Prana pana samayukta pacham, chatur vidam, pachanya man chatur. 5 kinds of foodstuffs. So there is we have 5 kinds of factors for action, but there's also 5 kinds of foodstuffs. What's this? You have to chew it, you are drinking it, you're sucking it, licking, completely swallowing it, like sluke, like a wolf. So these are 5 kinds of foodstuff. And Lord in the heart, as a Ham Vaishvana Robhutva, Prananam Deyamarshad, he is in everybody's body as the fire of digestion. So he's actually eating that food we put down there first. So everything is in place. So, but without him, the super soul, there will be no action at all. And also the same with the other things. You need the body, you need to have the ego, the performer. That's what we think is us or us. You have the senses, and you have also the action desires. You need the action senses. The karma, karmendriyas. You heard about this? Arms, legs, mouth, like that. Okay, so next verse. Shariravan manobiriyat karma prarabhate nara nayam va viparitim cha. This is difficult to read. You can read it, Christopher Prabhu, the Sanskrit. You'll try?
Chariravan manobirya. That was not correct. Chariravan manobirya.
That was correct.
Prarabhate nara nyayam va viparitam va panchaite tasya hetava.
Perfect, thank you. You want to read on?
Whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, or speech is caused by these 5 factors.
You take next verse like that.
Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tuya pashyati akarta buddhivam nasa pashyati durmati. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the 5 factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are.
So your pronunciation is perfect, Christopher. So everybody who listen to this, please learn pronunciation from Christopher Prabhu. He knows how to do this. That's very good. I'm very impressed. It's very satisfying to hear. Yeah. Yes, any comments or question on the... Oh, did you read English? No.
Yes.
Yeah. So not very intelligent if we think we are the only doer, because senses are also the doer. The super soul is also doer. It's 5 doers. So yeah. So then yasya nahang krito bhavo buddhir yasya nalipyate hatvapi sa ima lokan nahanti na nibhadyate. One who is not motivated by false ego, whose intelligence is not entangled, though he kills men in this world, does not kill, nor is he bound by his actions. Well, Arjuna is going to fight in a war, so it was good for him to hear that. So, Jnanam Gyayam Parigyata Trividha Karma Chodana Karanam Karma Karteti Trividha Karma Sangraha Knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower are the three factors that motivate action. The senses, the work, and the doer are the three constituents of action. So this we understood nothing about. What does this mean, even? Can you explain?
So knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower are these factors that motivate action. Essentially, there is something, a term in law that is a premeditated crime or something. Essentially, one who is thinking, yes, I will do something. That's like the knower and the object of knower.
Yeah, I get it.
The knower is considering the objects, of knowledge that are available to before the action. And the knower, that must be the super soul, right?
I think actually, I think it said here in the Sanskrit, it says karnam, karman, No, wait, that's the next one. Okay, jnanam, gyam, parigyata. So parigyata is the. Wait a minute. Do you have the word for word? I don't have a Gita here even. Yeah, I have a Gita.
18 or
18.
19?
Just let me see. Just give me a second. I'll look at the word for word.
It's parigyata.
Yeah. Actually, but it's the three first. Yeah. I thought so. Yeah, parigyata. That's the knower.
Yeah. It's the one who is thinking about the different actions and consequences and what will happen. If I do this, what will happen when I do that.
Yeah.
This is the knower, right?
Yeah. So the jnanam, that's the knowledge, and gyayam, that's the object of knowledge.
So for one who's driving a motorcycle, the knower is the driver. The object of knowledge is, I guess, the road and the motorcycle and the gas and knowledge is like his conception of how to steer.
Yes, it's correct. It's correct.
So this is what motivates action, right? The soul or the knower is influenced by knowledge and the object of knowledge, and he's using the senses, the work, and the doer of course, the senses, the work, and the doer are the constituents of actions.
So what does constituents mean?
Essentially, it's like when you divide something into, say, a number of parts, and that whole thing is, there's a word. It's like
so I see. Yeah. So, for example, you have a watch that's constitute of these different parts.
Yeah, so like the pointers and the gears. Those are the constituents of the watch.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. So I
think constituent is more a specific meaning because they have also an individual. There's probably some more specific meaning of the word constituent rather than a part.
Yeah, it means more than that because it means whatever the thing is composed of fully. That's the constituents. Yeah. So that's what it is. These three things that forming the whole thing. So just for our guests, our good guests in the chat, that we are today actually reading Bhagavad-gītā 18th chapter, because we have this course on the Bhagavad-gītā running actually for many months. Previously we just had a month break, and in this break month we were just reading from the Krishna book, but now we're back at work. The vacation is over. So now we're back on the Bhagavad-gītā. But don't worry, we will have still go on with the Krishna book on the other days, when we don't have Bhagavad-gītā. Yeah. So
Thursday or Tuesday?
Yeah, we have Monday, we have Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then of course Tuesday we're gonna have like a weekly topic. I was going to wonder, I can use this on the YouTube channel, this place where you can write some text, right? And you can ask you can build a community by this thing, right? So I was thinking I should ask a question there. What topic would you like to have, or you can post your questions there, and we can have a Q&A every Tuesday. So if you're up for that, I'll make a post on our YouTube page, just to ask you what your questions are, and I'll just collect all these questions or topics, and we will have that every Tuesday. Is that good?
That sounds good to me.
Super. So Okay, so we will go on. So now text 19. Jnanam karma chakarta cha tridhaiva guna bhedataha pruchyate guna sankyane yatha vakshrinu. According to the three different modes of material nature, there are three kinds of knowledge, action and performer of action. Now hear of them from me. Okay, so now we are going to talk about, different things according to the gunas again, three qualities of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. So in that way, we have different kinds of knowledge. And of course, the best one is mode of goodness. It just has to be. So just, mode of goodness is always the best. Why? Because that's a platform from which we can have, a nice spiritual life. So you always hear something, in this regard, that whatever Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gītā about goodness, that's also always going to be the best alternative.
At least if you want to be happy, because you're become conditioned to happiness, right?
Yeah. I mean, one shouldn't be conditioned also to the mode of goodness. That's true.
Yeah.
Sometimes you should be able to even wade in the dark for Krishna.
Yeah.
And then you are becoming a Vira. Where did I hear that? There is like three... sorry, then become a Deva. So there are three kinds of people, three kinds of people, and who are existing. So one of them is like a Parshu, that's an animal. So most people, so don't kill the messenger, okay, I'm just quoting the scriptures. So according to the scriptures, there are three kinds of people. So most people are Parshu quality. That means we are like animal, we're just bound up to whatever we do. And not much headspace for, spiritual life. And even if you take the spiritual life, you also do that in a partial way. You're just completely bound to stuff, to protocol, and we cannot really think. Don't really get the realization. But then the next...
Really bound by the senses, right?
Yeah, but the next thing, that is a Vira, that means a hero. So at least in spiritual life, you should try and be a hero. So that means one is brave, one takes chances for God or for Krishna. One, helps others, can control oneself. If we can control ourselves to a certain degree, then we have some free space to help others. Otherwise, if we're too addicted to our own enjoyment, our own ego, then, it will always take the better of us, and other people are suffering, and we can't do nothing for them. But if one is self-controlled and have, some higher knowledge, one understands one is the soul, well, this is like the Kshatriyas, like Arjuna, just fighting, and at least you go to heaven.
Like a Brahmana, but the Kshatriya will be like he's brave, he's active, he's...
Yeah, but that's a Vira, that's a hero. But I'm coming to the best one. The best one is to be a Daiva. So that means one is completely relaxed, one just sees the Lord's hand is everywhere, one just make difference between different souls. All the souls are the same nature, and you just see God everywhere, and everything is actually completely fine. And no need to make a fuss. Just practice your own spiritual life and be happy, and you can share it with others if they like to hear. That's a Daiva. And such Daivas, they have attained spiritual life. They're completely absorbed in the spiritual life, to say it like that. Okay, so why did I even mention this? Well, yeah, because we talked about three kinds of knowledge, action and performer action. Yeah, so you could probably talk about the three kinds of performers of action like that. But let's see what Krishna says.
Knowledge, I think.
Huh?
We didn't read 20, I thought.
We didn't read 20. We're going to read 20 now. Yeah.
Okay.
Sarvabhutashu yenaikam bhavam avyayam ikshate avibhaktam vibhakteshu tatgyanam vidisatvikam. That knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms, you should understand to be in the mode of goodness. So that means, wherever you turn your head, you just see Krishna or God. So there is no issue, one is never afraid, because if God is everywhere, then what is the problem? And on top of that, we are told that, we're not the body. So if I'm not the body, then what's the problem also? If I'm a soul, then the soul is always in the spiritual world together with Krishna, so no problem also there. Yeah, so Prabhupada says very nicely in the purport, a person who sees one spirit soul in every living being, whether a demigod, human being, animal, bird, beast, aquatic or plant, possesses knowledge in the mode of goodness. In all living entities, one spirit soul is there, although they have different bodies in terms of their previous work. But that's just karma. But spiritually there is no difference on the quality of the soul. Now we're going to go to the lesser states. So, passionate, that is pritaktveena tu yat jnanam nana bhavan pritakvidhan vitisarveshibhuteshu tat jnanam vidisrajasam. That knowledge by which one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity, you should understand to be in the mold of passion. So, according to this, it looks like most of us are in the mold of passion. Because I really see that in every different body, I see a different person. I mean, a different type of living entity. I do that. I make a good discrimination like this. I think inside myself, oh, here's a nice person, I like that person. And then next person, I don't like so much. Right? So in that way, and you think, oh, here is an ant, here is a dog, oh, there's a cat. Okay, so now next one. This is even worse. Yatu Krishna vadekasmin karya sakta mahaitukam atatvarta vadalpam cha tattamasa mudaritam. And that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, without knowledge of the truth, and which is very meager, is said to be in the mold of darkness. So you talk about knowledge, so the knowledge is very meager, the knowledge is alpa. So another place Krishna is calling alpa medasa. It's like small brain. Small-minded, like small-minded. What do you call that? Trangsynt?
Yeah, those are meager, but...
Meager-minded. I mean, instead of broad-minded, what is it called? There must be...
I would start sounding offensive, I think, if I...
Yeah. So...
unintelligent, or...
Yeah, exactly. So, or to be like a kripana, it's called... It means like a miser. Yeah.
Narrow-minded.
Yeah. So attached to one kind of work as the all in all. Of course, we never met any people who are thinking that, or did we?
There are a few, at least like popular culture characters.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, this Jungle Book. There's the bear. He's like essentially just. The only dharma he has is singing about it. It's just to relax, and eat the fruit of the jungle, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So he doesn't know about anything else. So it's mode of ignorance. Yeah. Yeah. So in that way, yeah. So Prabhupada says, so fasten your seatbelts, because Prabhupada is saying in the purport, the knowledge, he writes in what do you call this? Gåsøyne. What do you call that? Quotation marks, yeah. The knowledge, the so-called knowledge, in other words, the knowledge of the common man is always in the mode of darkness or ignorance, because every living entity in conditional life is born into the mode of ignorance. One who does not develop knowledge through the authorities or scriptural injunctions has knowledge that is limited to the body. He is not concerned about acting in terms of the directions of scripture. For him, God is money, and knowledge means the satisfaction of bodily demands. Such knowledge has no connection with absolute truth. It is more or less like the knowledge of the ordinary animals, the knowledge of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. So here you have it. I was saying already, they're called parshu, or we are called parshu, yeah, or I'm called parshu, yeah, bound up like an animal, yeah. Anyway, if we just keep on reading Gita, we will get to a higher level. So niyatam sangarahitam araga dveshata kritam apala prepsuna karma yattat satvikam uchyate. That action which is regulated and which is performed without attachment, without lower hatred, and without desire for fruitive results is said to be in the mode of goodness. So this is a very nice one. Without love or hatred. Sometimes you hear people say, hey, you should love your work, right? So what is this, A-raga dveshata, it says be a-raga and a-dvesha. So no raga, raga means no love or attachment, and dvesha means hate.
but is it like, it's not bhava love, right, or prema love, it's like some karma love, right?
Yeah, that's the point. You catch the actual point.
is actually passionate.
Yeah, because it means, in the material world, if you love something, that's a mode of passion, and it's binding, and it can easily just flip over to hate.
I can think the best work, in my experience, is the one that goes like in a state of flow. It's like you're not even thinking, you're just doing,
Exactly. Okay, so next one. Yattu kamepshuna karma sahankara nava punaha kriyate baulaya sam tadraja samudharitam. But action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desires and enacted from a sense of false ego is called action in the mode of
passion.
Yay! Okay, so guess what the last one is going to be like? Anubandham kshayam himsam anapekshyata paurusham muat arabhyate karma yattatamasam uchyate. That action performed in illusion. Can you think about that? You're doing something in illusion. That means one is just living in a illusory, concept of life. Like you have, was given an example, like if you go to insane asylum, there will be a man, who is posing like Napoleon with a hand inside his shirt, and with a hat. And he thinks he's Napoleon, but he's not, right? So that's illusion. And then the next one, in disregard of scriptural injunctions. So we have tons of books. The Vedic books are so many, actually. This Bhagavad-gītā is like a small book in comparison to the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is 18,000 verses. And then, the Mahabharata is 100,000 verses. So these are all scriptural injunctions. So not really caring about that. I mean, one doesn't care about even the Quran or the Bible or other, religious books. Then one is really, in the mode of ignorance, according to this verse at least. And without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others, is said to be in the mode of ignorance. So usually you see that people are really in the mode of ignorance. They don't really care about others. Have you noticed? They're just very egoistic or are insensitive. Yeah. So that means like the animal state. Have you seen if you try to give some food to birds, do they share brotherly with each other? Not at all. They just kick each other. They just go egoistically for themselves to have something to eat, and they just try and get their what you call competitors out of the way. Sometimes the animals are even killing each other for the sake of having something to eat. They want to kill all competition. So people can also be like that if they're in the mode of ignorance, unfortunately. Yeah, so yeah. So let's see Prabhupada's purport again. Prabhupada says one has to give account of one's actions to the state or to the agents of the Supreme Lord called the Yamadutas. So the Yamadutas are the order carriers of Yamaraj, who is the god of death. So they are not nice people. They are always angry, and they really are eager to punish the wrongdoers. So they are actually the constables of Yamaraj in hell, like literally in hell. So you better not make them, eager to do a job on us. So instead, if we are devotees of Krishna or Vishnu and chant Hare Krishna like that, the Vishnu Dutas will come instead to pick us up at the time of death. Otherwise, we have to give our account to the Yamadutas, and they will mete out some punishments according to that account. So sorry for this fire and brimstone preaching. So Prabhupada says, irresponsible work is destructive because it destroys the regulative principles of scriptural injunction. This is often based on violence and is distressing to other living entities. Such irresponsible work is carried out in the light of one's personal experience. This is called illusion. And all such illusory work is a product of the mode of ignorance. So here is also, some, what do you call this? It's stirring up our, what do you call this? When somebody says some mind-provoking. Is that what it's called? It's a mind-provoking statement. So,
yeah. It's just provoking.
Yeah, provoking, just provoking, yeah. He said it's often based on violence and is distressing to all living entities. But then he says, such irresponsible work is carried out in the light of one's personal experience. See, this is a very provocative statement, but it's very true. Because in spiritual life, what do? Are we doing stuff just because of our own experience? No. We are listening to the experience of the great sages, right? We're listening to what they are saying. We're listening to their story, their experience, and we try to follow suit in their footsteps. It's called, sato vritte. It's one of the features of Vaishnava to follow in the footsteps of the previous teachers. So that means if we only think about the world and what to do according to our own experience, we are acting, in the darkness. And we can't have nothing to know about spiritual life or how to get to spiritual life because we haven't experienced it. It's that simple. Right? It's the same thing, actually, even if I want to learn anything. Say I want to learn, to program in Python. So I didn't make the Python, framework. I haven't, made that. I don't know how it works. So how am I going to code in that language? So the one who made Python, he can give, a manual. He can write a book or something. And with that one, I can find out how to, use his coding framework. And then I can start making programs. I can make a whole world in there and be happy. But without his help, then I'm lost. I cannot do nothing with that. So in the same way with the spiritual world, we cannot know nothing about the spiritual world unless, Krishna is telling us. Because guess what? He has created the spiritual world. We didn't create that. That's why we cannot have that information unless we get it from him. Or from his representative, which are called, the gurus. Otherwise, if you just act of our own personal experience, we cannot even go to school, actually. So we will just be on our own the whole life. Yeah, so that's mode of ignorance, obviously. Even the mode of passion is not doing like that. They're having teachers, all of them. You see all these great teachers and gurus on YouTube? They are all, teachers, and they're helping other people in the mode of passion. They themselves was taught by other teachers, and they're teaching again themselves. Of course, they can refine the teachings. I'm not saying that. You can, adjust to your own experience also. But the core teachings are passed on from a teacher to disciple. Okay, so if nothing else, at least the language is passed on. You cannot say that you invented the whole language, right? You cannot say. You have to admit that you got something from others. Yeah?
The people can, you can invent their language. Like the guy who wrote the Lord of the Rings did.
Yeah, but he must have based it on something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's the point.
I am back, people.
Oh, you're back. Very good. So we're standing on the shoulders of giants, like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're now in the Bhagavad-gītā. If you like, we can send you. Or you actually, Christopher, he put the link for you there in the chat.
I already have it.
Yeah. So whenever you're ready, I will ask you to be a voice actor here.
Yeah.
Okay. So we just talked about the different action in the different modes of nature. So now we are going to talk about the worker. In the mode of passion. So that's text 27 in the 18th chapter.
There's definitely many texts here.
Yeah, it is many texts in this chapter. So if we're lucky, we can go through most of it, if not all of it. Ragi karma pala prepsur lubdho himsatmako shuchihi harsha shokan vita karta rajasa parikirtitaha. The worker who is attached to work and the fruits of work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, and who is greedy, always envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be in the mode of passion. So
mode of goodness.
How can I skip the mode of goodness?
You skipped 1826.
Okay. Okay, so we read 26. But only because you asked for it. I'm just joking. Yeah, I must have skipped it. It's true. Yeah, because I also was thinking, strange it starts on the mode of passion. Because it usually starts with goodness. Yeah. Okay, so let's have 26. Mukta Sangha Nahamvadi Driti Utsaha Sammanvitaha Siddhya siddhyor nirvikaraha karta sattvika uchyate. One who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature, without false ego, with great determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mode of goodness. This is great. Sometimes one can even be accused, why are you so enthusiastic? Why are you so happy? But then we really need to not care about these people.
Yeah.
It's like I heard from many great success people, and they always say, don't listen to the naysayers. They will always be there. Some people who will say, no, it's not possible, or they will complain that you're happy or whatever. So these people, they try to pull you down,
There's something like Krishna, because everyone is acting according to the nature they have acquired, right?
Yeah.
So most of the time, these people who give in to the criticism, and then they later find out I shouldn't have given in, and then they give this speech that don't listen to the haters.
Exactly.
Well, the truth is most people don't know what the truth is, so how can they orientate what is good or bad to begin with?
Usually they just speak out of impulse from the top of their head. That's the usual mode.
Mode of passion.
Yeah, that's the mode of passion, not thinking it thoroughly, and they haven't been reading many books, or if they did, they read the wrong books. Yeah, so let's see what Prabhupada says in the purport. He's really fleshing it out here. He says a person in Krishna consciousness is always transcendental to the material modes of nature. He has no expectations for the result of the work entrusted to him, because he is above false ego and pride. Still, he is always enthusiastic till the completion of such work. He does not worry about the distress undertaken. He is always enthusiastic. He does not care for success or failure. He is equal in both distress and happiness. Such a worker is situated in the mode of goodness. So here Prabhupada is actually equaling, a person in Krishna consciousness to the person in the mode of goodness.
Exactly.
And that would make sense, because if one is actually Krishna conscious, the mode of goodness is just, a part of the deal. Okay,
Yeah.
so then, I can read the mode of passion one again.
Yeah.
Ragi karma pala prepsur lubdo himsatmako suchi harsa shokan vita karta rajasa parikirtitaha. The worker who is attached to work and the fruits of work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, and who is greedy, always envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be in the mode of passion. So, we probably have experienced ourselves to be in this mode. That actually, it may not be overtly, it may be covertly one is having these things. One may not manifest, that one is envious, but it's just boiling underneath and serves as an inspiration for moving forward, that one actually wants to be better than somebody else. And that's called impurity, actually, in the heart. But anyway, it's better than being in the mode of ignorance, which we'll get to now. Ayukta prakritaha stabda shatu naishkritiko lasaha vishadi dhirga sutrecha karta tamasa uchate. The worker who is always engaged in work against the injunctions of the scripture, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others, and who is lazy, always morose, and procrastinating, is said to be a worker in the mode of ignorance. So especially I always get hit in the eye by this, written here, expert in insulting others.
Yeah.
So that's like a real, nuisance kind of person, yeah?
Naishkrita.
Yeah. So instead of sukrita, it's naishkrita. Sukrit means very, very nice, pious work. Let's see, what does naishkrita mean? It must mean the opposite.
Expert in insulting others.
Oh yes, I see, yeah. Yeah.
Is that someone who's working or something?
I think that this should be from the kirtan, actually. It looks like the same kirt. It's from the same root. Yeah. Yeah.
Kritika.
Yeah. So something like that. It means, not famous but infamous. Someone wants to, make other people infamous, or like that.
Oh, wow.
Blaspheme others. Yeah. I'm not sure, but it looks like that. But at least naish, David, means, against. So against kirtan, against glorifying others. So that means insulting others. whatever it means. I mean, we have the meaning here. So alasa, to be lazy. That's a typical thing about mode of ignorance. One is simply just scrolling the whole day. And then also morose. It said there vishadi. It's like crying inside. It means something like depressed.
Yeah.
And then it says dirga sutri. That means what do you call this? Always postponing. Procrastinating. Instead of doing it now, it's like, oh, do I have to do it now or maybe tomorrow? And then again, just all the time, postponing. It's very much mode of ignorance. I mean, sometimes we may experience this when we try to wake up in the morning. Even though we got enough sleep, then, sometimes this mode of ignorance can linger very much.
Oh, yes.
One doesn't feel like doing anything.
Yeah.
But if one has practiced, nice spiritual life the day before, usually that's not the case actually. One actually would like to get up early and do chanting and like that. So we kind of make the blueprint for the next day by the day before. Yeah, so let's go to the text in 29. Buddher bhedam dhriteshchaiva gunatas trivanam shrinu prochamanam asheshena pritaktvena dhananjaya. O winner of wealth, now please listen as I tell you in detail of the different kinds of understanding and determination according to the three modes of material nature. So Daniel, Prabhu, you like to read something? From text,
yes, okay.
From text 30.
Yes.
You can
should
just
try to read the Sanskrit.
Yeah, you can try and see how it goes. Otherwise, you can just read the translation.
Okay. O son of Prita, that understanding by which one knows that ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the mode of goodness.
Perfect. And then you can just go on taking in the next verses.
All right. Verse, or the text, or like the purport.
Next is text 31. There is no purport to that.
Okay. O son of Pirta, that understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, is in the mode of passion.
Perfect. Next one.
That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion under the spell of illusion and darkness and strives always in the wrong direction, O Partha, is in the mode of ignorance.
Fine. Would you like to read the purport also to that one?
All right. Intelligence in the mode of ignorance is always working on the opposite side of the way it should. It accepts religion which are not actually religions and rejects actual religion. A man in ignorance understand a great soul to be a common man and accept a common man as a great soul. They think truth to be untruth and accept untruth as truth. In all activities they simply take the wrong path, therefore their intelligence in the mode of ignorance.
Thank you.
So we're talking about foolish people here, or?
Yeah, we're talking about the lowest class of intelligence you can have.
Yes, because I wouldn't disagree that, in my opinion, I think all people are equal in soul and stuff. So I think like that they are also a great soul. I don't really differentiate between the average man and God.
Yeah, but that's good to hear. That means you are on the Paramahamsa level. So, yeah, so that's good. Because it said
so
Paramahamsa
I was just thinking, am I an ignorant idiot or something?
No, you see, the Paramahamsa is not making difference. He sees everybody on the same platform. We just read that before. The understanding which is in the mode of goodness, then you don't, or knowledge in the mode of goodness, you just see everybody as being part of God. And you don't differentiate between one person and the other. That's the mode of goodness. That's or the highest mode of Paramahamsa. Yeah, so, yeah. So, but immediately when you come to the material platform, you will actually see different people. You will see that one person is a very destructive person. You will see another person is very active and, creative like that. And you will see another person is like a wizard.
Yeah, but I see like that they have good intentions at the base of their heart, but like that they're controlled by desires and manipulated by smarter people who can use their desires against them.
Yeah, so there's always somebody who's kind of evil. So, but anyway, the point is that it's the delivery which is not the same. The way people are manifesting is not the same, and that's because of these modes of nature. A person in the mode of goodness, that's the same soul as a person in ignorance. It's true, but his delivery is more tasty. Just like a cook. Somebody who really knows how to cook, he will deliver you, very nice, lasagne, which is not burned. It'll be nice salad, and maybe some, mayonnaise. And the person in mode of passion will also do the same, but he put too much salt, right? Or too much chili. And the person in mode of ignorance, he will just burn the whole thing, so it tastes horrible. But he will still eat it. Yeah. But all three of them, they mean love, they do it out of love. But the delivery is not the same. You get it?
So it's the guy in the mode of goodness who makes the good lasagna or whatever?
Yeah, he makes the lasagna which is like celestial.
Oh, right.
Very juicy and wholesome and very tasty.
Yeah. And mode of passion is also not bad, but after that you feel like you need to drink a lot and you feel like passionate.
Passion is not so good either because it's too spicy.
Yeah.
Always salty.
But after that, after you had his lasagna, you feel like jogging for 1 hour around the block.
Yeah, I think one thing we all have in common is that we're good at cooking because some people, they just don't understand like in what kind of amounts they should put salt or sugar into things. They just put like too much or too little and then it just goes.
That's passionate, I think.
Well, it may be passion or it may be ignorance. You see, ignorance, he didn't get any training. Or he didn't want to have training.
They actively make it horrible. Like they prefer it to have it rotten, like surströmming and this kind of thing.
Or you may be like Ilvala and Vatapi. You remember I told this story, Christopher, a few days ago? The one who he killed his brother. And because the brother, he had this mantra, he could bring him back to life. So first he transferred his brother into a goat, and then he chopped him off, and he made goat soup. Goat soup, and then he invited Brahmana to have the goat soup, and then because he liked to kill Brahmanas, and then the Brahmana had eaten the whole brother, and then he was calling, Ilvala, please come, and then he appeared out of the stomach. So then the person was always dying who had eaten him. In that way, he that was kind of his hobby, to kill Brahmanas in that way. But then he invited the wrong Brahmana, Agastya, and he had so good digestion, so he was just. He was asking, he was calling Ilvala, but nothing happened. And then Agastya said, I know what you were planning to do, but you see, I already digested him. Yeah. So that's cooking in the mode of ignorance. If you're going to make a grand example.
Automatically, when you use meat in the dish, it's mode of ignorance, right?
Well, it may be exceptions, because if
exceptions where it's Raja.
Yeah, because you needed to have a strong body, like Bhima is said to consume meat at some time. He's extremely muscular and strong. He could carry all the Pandavas, on his shoulders.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure if that is actually the case, but.
Apparently he was like really, he was even taking, the heart of Dushashan. He promised that, after. after Draupadi was tried to be destroyed by Dushasana, he promised, I will rip out his heart and drink the blood. And he actually did that. He took out the heart and drank the blood. So, he's like a really heavy,
But it's not for sustenance, right? It's milk that is give you the strongest, right? Is it not?
Yeah. We are recommending milk, not to drink blood. It's true. But it's actually said that the milk is actually transformed blood from the cow. Yeah. That's in the milk. Yeah. So that's the mode of goodness. So so people in mode of ignorance and passion, they will have, they will eat meat.
Is that accurate that blood is transformed milk in also females?
Yeah.
So when I was drinking my mother's milk, I was really drinking her white blood?
No, because in that same way you can say, somebody's eating blueberries. And then it's transforming, into blood and then into milk. So what are you eating? Are you eating the blueberries or the blood or the milk? Right? And before that it was just earth. Powered by sun rays. So are you eating earth? You're eating transformed earth, actually. That's the Vedic explanation. You're eating the transformed elements. It's only 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So what we're actually eating is earth, water, and fire, basically. And there is some air also inside. Yeah. Because they're replacing the elements in our body, which is also earth, water, fire, air, ether. Our body is made up with these 5 building blocks also. So the idea is just to refresh them, so you get them fresh again.
I mean, it could be like a good way to convince hardcore children that, oh no, you're not drinking milk, you're drinking the blood of your blood of a cow or the blood of your mother.
It's actually science. It's just knowledge about the origin of things.
Yeah. I mean, this you don't even need our stuff to do that. They found out years ago in the Western school. It has nothing to do with our business.
It's not obvious.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but we never heard it before, maybe. So then it's new. Anyway, let's go on. Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah. So I'll read on. So did I read about mode of? Where did I stop actually?
Last was Daniel read about 32. 1832.
Yeah, so we finished the mode of ignorance. That's good.
Yes,
Back to goodness. Yeah, back to goodness.
Son of Pirta.
Yeah. You want to read? Yeah. Yeah. Prita. Yeah.
Who's reading this? Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're hired.
O son of Prita, that determination which is unbreakable, which is sustained with steadfastness by yoga practice, and which thus controls the activities of the mind, life and senses in determination, in the mode of goodness.
Very good. Okay, next verse.
Alrighty then. That determination by which one holds fast to fruitative results in religion, economic development, and sense of gratification is of the nature of passion, O Arjuna. Yeah,
so you see there, he said religion. So that means, in the name of our spiritual life or religious life, we can have a lot of ambition. We want to have so many followers, so many books sold, or we want to have bigger grand temple, and we want to have a lot of economic development. Everybody give donation, and we're going to have a great feast with a lot of pizza. Yeah. So that may be a religious life in the mode of passion. Yeah.
Very nice.
So, but of course, that's much better than the mode of ignorance. So by all means, if you want to do a spiritual life or religious life in the mode of passion, go ahead. Because what we're trying here mostly is just to save ourselves from the mode of ignorance, really. Because at least in mode of passion, one is not depressed, and one is not inactive. One is active in the mode of passion. So that's very good. So one can use that for the mission of God. Okay, so text 35.
35, not 34?
We just read 34.
Okay. Yes, and that determination which cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion, such as unintelligent determination, or son of Perta, is in the mode of darkness.
100%. Thank you so much. Any comments or questions? So, Christopher, would you like to read from 36?
Yeah.
And you can read the Sanskrit also if you like.
Okay. Sukhantu idamin trividam shrinu me bharatar sharva abhyasad ramate yatra dukha tam chani gachati. O best of the Bharatas, now please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness by which the conditioned souls enjoy, and by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distress.
Yeah. You want to read the purport, or?
Yeah, I can. A conditioned soul tries to enjoy material happiness again and again. Thus he chews the chewed. But sometimes in the course of such enjoyment, he becomes relieved from the material entanglement by association with the great soul. In other words, a conditioned soul is always engaged in some type of sense gratification. But one understands by good association that it is only a repetition of the same thing, and he is awakened to his real Krishna consciousness. He is sometimes relieved from such repetitive so-called happiness.
Sometimes. Yeah. So it sounds like you can also fall back again, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so next one.
Yattad agre visham iva hariname mrtopamam tat sukham satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadam jam. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, you can read the purport.
In the pursuit of self-realization, one has to follow many rules and regulations to control the mind and the senses, and to concentrate the mind on the self. All these procedures are very difficult, bitter like poison, but if one is successful in following the regulations and comes to the transcendental position, he begins to drink real nectar, and he enjoys life.
Yeah, so see, this is very nice, you know. It's true that if you join this practice that we do, you will get a whole lot of rules and regulation to deal with. But it's actually meant to help us. Yes, in that way it can give you actually nectar later on. In the beginning it seems like poison, but later it's nectar. Yeah. And then I'll read the next one. Vishayendriya samyogad yatat agram ritupamam pariname vishamiva tatsukam raja samsmritam. That's the happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects, and which appear like nectar at first, but poison at the end, is said to be of the nature of passion. Yeah, so in the purport, Prabhupada says, a young man and a young woman meet, and as the senses drive the young man to see her, to touch her, and to have sexual intercourse. In the beginning, this may be very pleasing to the senses, but at the end, or after some time, it becomes just like poison. They are separated, or there is divorce, there is lamentation, there is sorrow, etc. Such happiness is always in the mode of passion. Happiness derived from a combination of the senses and the sense objects is always a cause of distress. It should be avoided by all means. Yeah, the other example which comes to mind is you know, like a chocolate cake. Or may like to have chocolate. It's very tasty for the senses. It seems to be like nectar, right? But if you cannot stop eating chocolate cake, you know, very soon you'll find yourself in dire, you know, distress. You know, even some people, they can eat so much nice sweets and stuff that their stomach can explode. You know?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So yat agre chanubandha cha sukam mohanam atmana nidra lasya pramaduttam tattamasamudaritam. And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be of the nature of ignorance. Yeah, so Prabhupada says very clearly here, one who takes pleasure in laziness and in sleep is certainly in the mode of darkness, ignorance, and one has no idea how to act and how not to act is also in the mode of ignorance. For a person in the mode of ignorance, everything is illusion, there is no happiness either in the beginning or at the end. For a person in the mode of passion, there might be some kind of ephemeral happiness. What does ephemeral mean anyway?
It's like not tangible, it's like unreal.
Okay, yeah, dreaming kind of happiness. In the beginning and at the end, distress, but for the person in the mode of ignorance, there is only distress, both in the beginning and at the end.
But is this correct? I think maybe Prabhupada is mixing the modes here, because one has no idea how to act and how to not to act. That's the mode of passion, is it not? Because the mode of ignorance is actively doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't actually say here in the Sanskrit.
No.
It's
It's delusion from beginning to end, right?
Yeah, but you can also say the mode of ignorance doesn't know the Shastra, because the Shastra is saying the do's and don'ts, yama and niyama. Yeah.
I guess from what I understood, what Krishna said is like the mode of ignorance is actively against the Shastra and the religion.
Yeah, but you have different flavors of mode of ignorance also.
Gentlemen,
yeah.
they have to go now because I'm tired.
Okay, good. That's honest. Honesty is the mode of passion. Mode of goodness.
Yes.
So that's good. Thank you. So we will see you next time. Huh? Hare Krishna. Yeah. So we can also round off because I'm supposed to round off soon. Yeah. But this thing things are kind of it's all kind of gray, and you have black and you have white. White is completely fully paramamsa, self-realized, and then black is completely in tamagun, like inert, even like a stone, right? And then you have all kinds of gradation to come to the pure stage. So to move from mode of ignorance to passion, then there will also be some people in ignorance who are kind of close to the mode of passion. Yeah. So they don't know what to do. They may not actively be destructive. That's the worst kind of ignorance, you can say. People are actively destructive.
I thought that's exactly ignorance, and one who's just passionate is not in knowledge of what he's actually doing. He's acting according to the dictation of the senses.
But it's not true actually, because it said actually that in the scripture it said that passionate people, they may be karmakanda people even, who wants to go to heavenly planets. And many kshatras are like that. They want to go to heaven. That's why they fight so vigorously. So they're very passionate, and they follow rules also. It said in other places that people in mode of passion, they may follow all religious rules, but they just do so for going to heaven. Yeah. So they may be eager. They are fanatics, right? People are very strict in following rules, like fanatically. They're in mode of passion actually.
It's seeing one type of work as the all in all. It's actually a mode of ignorance also.
Yeah. So it's mixed,
Yeah.
You see, in all the modes there is a mix of the other modes also. So you always have some goodness and ignorance. Even in passion, you always have even a little bit of goodness, and also passion in ignorance even. Because otherwise we couldn't move. If you only had ignorance, you would be like a black stone which cannot move. So you have a little bit of passion so you can move. You have a little bit of goodness so you can remember something, right? So in that way, it's always like a mix-up. But what it means is that it's the dominating mode of nature you have. So if the main percentage, say for example, if you have 60% ignorance, you may have 20% passion and 20% goodness in your system. That means you're in the mode of ignorance, basically, right? And then you have 60% passion, and then 20% ignorance and 20% goodness.
But it's like you are classified into the modes, not only as a whole, but also as a worker, as a knower.
Yeah. So that means also people are made up of different. You see, you can be in the mode of goodness in cooking, but then when it comes to playing music, you can be in the mode of ignorance because you don't know nothing about music, right? So everybody is a mixed bag, Sometimes you become actually surprised, Somebody is so nice in the spiritual practice, but then there is kind of what do you call that? Like a black room or it's kind of a bad spot in somebody, where they're completely tamasic, but otherwise they're really good, you know.
I think I have experience on this, but still, it's like a few things that are important, right? The determination, I guess. But I guess it's so many different sciences and different variations.
Yeah. The point is that the overall arching principle is to be in the mode of goodness for spiritual life, because that will help us to actually be able to understand what's in the books, to be able to ponder, about Krishna or God, to actually be able to connect. We need to have that goodness, otherwise it really won't work. See, passion is always to do something for a result. So say I'm reading all the books, I'm chanting, I'm doing everything, but in the mind I have, I will be a great leader, I will get a lot of followers, I will be, whatever, superstar or something. With that kind of mentality, we cannot actually understand nothing about spiritual life at the end of the day.
Yeah, but I don't really know if we're looking at these modes because we're saying, maybe you're right about we should be aiming for the mode of goodness, but immediately, Krishna is saying that we should become transcendental to the modes. And
yeah.
Is,
so that way, So usually we hear like Prabhupada even said, just be like Arjuna. Most of us, we can just aspire to be like Arjuna, just be a spiritual warrior, fight.
Yeah, or you can also be like Arjuna in the sense that you're simply just a friend of Krishna in all cases,
Yeah, you see, Krishna, he was...
Advice,
because, just see in the history, Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gītā, I'm preaching, Krishna says, I'm preaching to the Raja Rishi, I'm preaching to the saintly kings. He didn't preach to the Brahmanas or the sages or the rishis. He didn't preach to them because they already were elevated. When Krishna is coming, he's only preaching to the kings. And he's also not preaching to the Shudras, actually, or the workers. So in that way, he likes people who are kings or passionate people. He likes them. He's friend with them, He's friend of the Pandavas. So in that way, we don't have that task that we should be like a great wizard, sage. We should just be like stable in the mode of passion. We'll be okay.
Yeah. Mode of passion has usually not the quality of stability, though, does it not, right?
Yeah, but you can be very stable in the mode of passion, because mode of passion means to be rigidly follow a system. You see passionate people, how they're very good at correcting others. They say, hey, you didn't follow the law, right? You should follow the system. Like just recently I was out in the street. I was riding one of these bikes, and then there came a guy, and he was having the full setup with skiing on the dry, with skiing with staffs and everything in the sun, and he immediately called me. He said, "You are driving on the wrong side. You should be on the right side." And he was clearly in mode of passion, but that was good, because he was shaping, I was actually on the wrong side of the road. Because I didn't expect nobody to come there, but he came very quick. He had a lot of speed.
Yeah.
So these people in mode of passion, they are very rigid of doing things properly. So that's why they're natural leaders. They like to follow the law, See these hardcore policemen, they're in mode of passion. This is very good, It's giving shape. Because if fire gives shape. So mode of ignorance, that's the only one we want to avoid. Because that's just going downhill.
Thank you. I think you illustrated it actually quite nicely for me, and I want to share what I thought. It was that the mode of passion is like this, in the sense that this policeman and stuff is some misaction is inducing these kshatriyas to become very passionate in to make a correction.
Yeah. So that's actually needed.
That's why it is actually not stable. It is like it's a corrective force. It is reactive. It is not self-sufficient like.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. At the end of the day, you are right. But in the Vedic system, you see, how did they keep stable anyway? It was because these mode of passion people, the Kshatriyas, they always went to the Brahmanas, to the sages, to the rishis, and in that way they got stable again.
Yeah.
They always went back to them. They had a good routine to always. You see Yudhishthira in the Mahabharata. It's like every day he's speaking to Brahmanas. Every day, all his questions is always refining his intelligence by consulting Brahmanas who are, knowing scripture.
But actually, looking at this, the way you're illustrating this is, I'm getting more and more the view that these modes of nature are simply, just the modes, acting, and which is it's not really too much to bother about.
It's very true. If you are a devotee of Krishna, you could just chill.
Because the modes are essentially, like Krishna says, you will see that the modes themselves are acting. It's like the mode of passion is, scolding the mode of ignorant, and
it's true.
And bowing down to the mode of goodness, right?
Yeah. But of course, still we are asked to at least avoid the mode of ignorance, because in the mode of ignorance we cannot actually enjoy spiritual life there, because it's too much darkness.
So I guess this is like the following the regs and chanting.
Yeah, that's like a basic, template for spiritual life. So in that way,
we are very lucky, because in this age we are so influenced by the lower modes, that even if we are influenced by the lower modes, we can still become bhaktas.
Yeah, that's the point. So this is a specific way of our spiritual practice. We're getting from Iskcon, like that. You can practice under this umbrella of the sadhana. In association with devotees, you can always update yourself when you meet devotees, how to go about the practice. But from then, we should get deeper and find our own style. At the end of the day, we have to find our own.
On the street.
Yeah.
Everyone is taking pleasure in the Harinam, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
No matter who you are, even the dog, they like it.
Exactly. So in that way, that's a sure, bet to do Harinam. So please remind me when I'm coming back to Oslo very soon. On Saturday I'm coming back. We can have a Saturday program again since it's August.
Yeah.
So I'll come. I'll be in Oslo like for 2:00. I'll go straight to the temple to have the Bhakti Shastri again. I'll finish the 18th chapter then, and then we have kirtan evening. Sounds good?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see. Maybe I kind of got the impression we were going on the streets, but.
Oh yeah, I like to do that also, but we can do that also. Just.
I don't know.
Just let me know.
Streaming, or do you stream?
Yeah, we could stream on the street. Actually, that could also be done.
Yeah, it's okay.
We'll figure out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I'll contact you tomorrow. We'll try and figure out what to do.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, thank you so much. So okay, we'll round off. So we lost until text 40. So we'll have from text 40 tomorrow.
Is it 70 something verses in this?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So we got halfway now. Great. So,
I think it's so exciting to read the Gita. I love the Krishna book and everything, and all the books, but the Gita, I think it's so exciting.
Yeah, it is very special. The Gita has a very special mood to it.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful. So we should just consider ourselves, lucky that we can have time to spend with the Gita. So many people in the world, they don't have time for this. What?
Through the vision of Prabhupada, he bringing it to us.
He really is doing that. He put his blood, sweat, and tears to give it to us. He was sitting up every night, giving us the books.
Yeah.
Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare